Hello, guys. Week 5. You are through the second month. You're in the second month. Can you believe it? I can. And what's amazing about you guys is that you're showing up and you're sharing. Showing up is one thing, but it's the thing. And then you're sharing. You're sharing unapologetic. You're sharing authentically. You're sharing so you can connect with these other women. And that's the beauty behind the mastermind. That's the beauty behind doing the work. And that's the beauty behind this community we have. I love to call you guys warriors. I get really excited when I think about that because you guys are. You're not just going on the surface anymore. You're not just going up to people and saying, "How's the weather?" You want more. You want to be able to break through that mindset or break through those bad habits or break through to something that's been holding you back for so long. So today we're going to talk about all the things that's going to come in your way. And the first thing is people. Because when we are on this road of bettering ourselves, this road of, I guess you could say recovery, because with the recovery, you are not recovering from a past experience or a past itself to be able to go forward, think forward, move forward, excel forward. So let's take a step back and say, okay, you are doing this, but are the people in your life have to be doing this? And we've talked a little bit about this. Now we're going to go in depth. I'm going to give you a 5-step action plan to be able to take this to the next level. And so you're going to do a lot of journaling over the next few days because this kind of journaling is going to be able to set the tone for how you now interact with people. So we have our interaction words. What are they? Write them down right now. Go into your phone if you don't remember them. Because when I have to go into my phone sometimes because I haven't been using them for a while. So when you start to use them for a while, for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you could do it at a drop of a hat. All right, so what is it? What are your 3? What are your 3 interaction words? Mine are authentic, connected, and confident. So these are the things that we have to remind ourselves when we're going into situations where people that potentially don't get this road of recovery, this road of breakthrough. And what I want to help you out with today is not only educate you, but also have you feeling more comfortable in these conversations. Because the more comfortable we get through this, the less stress, the less things that are going to hold us back. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you are the only one that is holding you back. But it doesn't negate the fact that environment is huge. People in your life is huge. That is why you guys are excelling so much in here because you have an environment of women that are like-minded that want to get better. But then you have that family member that's always bringing you down. Or you have that coworker that, isn't striving to do more, be more. Or you have that friend that you love, but you're like, man, have you ever said anything nice, like ever? So this is where we don't judge. This is where we come with the tools and the resources that we have. So let's get into this 5-step action plan for your people in your life. All right, let's write this down. So the first one is going to be your commandments. So what is that? What do you vow to? Why do you want to better yourself? What are the commandments that you're living by? Do you want to be proof of positivity? Do you want to have personal development on a regular basis? What does that look like? Because when I think of my commandments, it is, down to a T of living my best life. And you're going to see this in the files tab, what my commandments are. And the reason why I have those commandments is because it levels me. It grounds me. So one of my commandments is I won't partake in drama. And if I am the reason because of the drama, I will apologize and help it go forward. That's one of my commandments. Why? Because I want to live my best life. I want to move forward. So recently I was involved in some drama. And so I addressed it. I apologized for my end. I said, how can we move on? Instead of me saying, oh my gosh, they said this. I can't believe they did that. Ugh. And don't get me wrong. There's times where we just need to vent. There's times where we just need to release. But there's also this commandment, the way you live by. It's going to set you free. It's going to catapult you forward. So, what does that look like for you? I'm going to have my commandments and I want you to use it as a model. You can go completely off of it, but I would like for you to think of what's good for you. So, for example, on one of my commandments, I have that I go to bed at a certain time. I get to bed at 10, wake up at 5. Do I write that commandment sometimes? Yeah, sure. But do I know where to go back to? This is not about perfection. It's about balance. Because what we as individuals is now, it's like, oh, throw the towel. It's done. It's over. This is terrible. No, life happened. You got off course. We get back on course. That's why these commandments are huge. They're not only huge for you, but it's huge for you how you interact with people. It's how you show up for people. And this is the kind of stuff where it's follow through. This is not, oh, did it for a couple weeks and I'm done. No, this is your life. There's the commandments in the Bible. You got one for you, sister. Yes, get excited about that. And then the second thing I want you guys to do, I want you to apply your passion. So one of my interaction words used to be, I'm sorry, present excited. It was excited. So it was enthusiasm. And I can safely say that the person on the other end feels it, feels my excitement. But what's I had to learn throughout those 2 years that I had that as one of my interaction words is I had to learn that I am very affected by people's energy, extremely. And so I will kind of become submissive. I will conform to the energy around me. And so that excitedness wasn't always there. And the reason being is because I wasn't applying my passion. I wasn't being intentional about how I wanted to show up. And that's why the commandments are so critical. They're so critical for you to be able to apply this kind of enthusiasm and apply the fact of why you want to better yourself, why you are doing a breakthrough for your legacy. What is that? It doesn't have to be uber tangible right now. I didn't know this legacy was going to exist, that I had all these amazing warrior women in my life. No, but I applied my passion because I knew there was something else out there. Because the more you apply your passion, that's how the world will show up for you. It's the God honest truth. So I want you to really journal on that. How do you want to show up with people? What kind of passion are you exuding? I'm not saying like fake it till you make it. What I am saying is generate that energy, generate that excitement, generate that passion, because that's the kind of stuff that's going to make you do the nitty gritty of what it takes to build a legacy. All right. All right. Number 3. When you think about the people in your life, I want you to get into their shoes, get into their heads a little bit. Because we always go off of the mindset of like, oh, they don't get me. They don't understand. I wish they got me. I wish they understood. Well, let's get into their shoes. Why not? Because we're trying so hard for them to get into ours. But we also have to remember that we weren't always in these shoes. We weren't only always in these Gucci Jimmy Choo's shoes. Super glam, right? But what we were in was in their shoes at one point. Why? It's our environment. No shame in that game. But now we got a new game. So what does that look like? So what are they going through? What's it like in their eyes? Because when we look it through their eyes, their point of view, that really helps our perspective, our perception on things. So I was reading in a book today about it was in the book Uninvited, and she was saying about how she went to the gym. She is overweight, the writer, and she's like, this girl hates me, like absolutely hates me. All these things were happening. I got on a call one time when we were working out. Like, she doesn't think like I'm fit, so I shouldn't be there. All these things. And then one day the girl smiled at her. And she's like, what? Like, did she mean to smile at me? And so what she did is she went through this whole different type of perception. The way that she put in her, like, I want to get into their shoes, her point of view, her eyes. She said, one day there was this really fit girl that saw this overweight girl and she wouldn't stop talking on the phone. And then another day she saw her and said, man, that's awesome. She showed up. End of story. Instead of all the nitty gritty in the between, all the misconception of what's going on. Yeah, people may be talking about you. Yeah, people may not be understanding what you're doing, but is that the real perception? Or is that something that you have made up or you perceive or you feel is it or you have assumed? In the four agreements by Don Miguel, one of the four agreements, don't make any assumptions. And he talks about in the book, even if the person wants to kill you. And I was like, what? Um, it's like, or I'm sorry, don't make any assumptions and don't take anything personally. Both, twofold. Don't make any assumptions and don't take anything personally. And when he talked about the don't take anything personally, he was like, even if the person wants to kill you, it's not about you. I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Of course it's about me. They want me dead. And when he said, he's like, no, it's just their beliefs. It's how they were brought up. It's how their environment is, and that's how they do their life. So think about it like that. How can we get into their shoes, their eyes, their head, instead of us always being like, man, they just don't get me. Well, let's get them. It doesn't mean we have to conform. It doesn't mean we have to do what they do, but it helps you understand and it helps your perception a ton, a ton. So let's journal on that. Get into their shoes. Number 4, show and share your vision. How often are you sharing this? How often are you exuding this? And this could be on social media, this could be with a friend, this could be just on a video, whatever it is for you. Because, like I said, the way that you show up for yourself is the way that the world will show up for you. So, how are you showing up? How is that coming across? And are you clear on your vision? What is your vision? That's what I want you to journal about. Why? Because if you're not clear on it, why the hell should anyone else be? Am I right? Because that's what was so hard for me in the beginning of this journey. No one gets what I'm doing. I just don't understand why people just don't come along with this. I wasn't sharing my vision because I wasn't clear. Let's get clear. Number 5. This is where we're going to bring it home, sister, because it'd be great to get all 4 of these and journal them out. But now we need an action plan. What does the next 30 days look like for you? How are you showing up daily with your commandments? How are you applying this passion daily? How are you getting into their shoes when you get into a place where you are in confrontation or you're perceiving something a certain way? How are you doing that in the next 30 days? How are you planning out your clear vision? How are you showing that and sharing that and showing up for you? Most importantly, you, then others follow. I want to see what that plan looks like for you. What does the next 30 days look like for you? So it's May. Where is it in June? We got 1 month. 1 month to keep this going. This is your arsenal. This is now your Bible because this is where you start to set yourself free. And this is where you really start to break through. Because it's no more playing games. You got the mindset. You're going to continue with the mindset. Now it's action. You guys ready? I'm excited. I can't wait to see you in there. And I want to hear all about this and get to work because this kind of work makes the dreams work.